Hey everybody, it's Rockula and welcome back to Rockula Retrospective. It's day 11 of my VEDA series, 30 Bands in 30 Days. VEDA stands for Vlog Every Day in April, and today's artist is Foetus. I took a look at the list of the bands that I will be reviewing in this series, and Foetus has to be the most abrasive of the entire group. Even more abrasive than Einsturzende and Neubauten. The difference is that Neubauten is like getting hit by a ton of scrap metal. The psychological assault is the result of over-repetition and sensory overload, whereas Foetus is like a demented surgeon or torture master who knows all the right places to stick the needle in and twist. J.G. Thirlwell is the mastermind behind Foetus and many other projects such as Steroid Maximus, Wise Blood, and Manorexia. He also composes the soundtrack for the Venture Brothers. If I could describe his music, it would be as a soundtrack to the scuzziest 20s crime drama you've ever seen. His earliest works are the most abrasive and have the most heavy doses of crime jazz imagery, which depicts a world full of low-life petty criminals that will cut you in a second, steal your wallet, and leave you to bleed out in some filthy blind alleyway. The lyrics are often racist, sexist, and homophobic. But the added element of self-loathing lets you know that the offending ideas are supposed to be viewed as offensive. The first-person character in his songs is to be viewed as just as flawed and corrupted as the rest. Sometimes to know what it's like to be a pig, you gotta wallow around in the mud. It's okay to entertain these thoughts as long as you acknowledge that they are best left in the philosophical realm. The psychological assault doesn't stop at lyrics and imagery. Sound is where Foetus really explores the ideas that make most people uncomfortable. Everything about the early material is abrasive. I can remember hearing it for the first time when I lived in Denton, and I just couldn't handle it. His use of droning and repetitive lines can border on the tedious and irritating. It would take a long time for me to learn how to appreciate this music. I don't want you to think that Foetus is all abrasion and confrontation. I just wanted to establish where he came from and show how remarkable his development has become. As time progressed, he kept his confrontational style, but the writing as well as production value quickly improved. The concept soon expanded to incredibly esoteric soundtrack and ambient music. Then he scored the soundtrack to the Venture Brothers, which is one of the most perfect pairings in soundtrack history. If you want the perfect Foetus starter kit, then I would suggest these two albums. Flow is the most perfectly executed example of his crime jazz style of music. The standout tracks are Quick Fix, Cirrhosis of the Heart, Grace of God, and The Need Machine. If you're into ambient music, then I would highly recommend Manorexia, the Radiolarian Ooze. There is not a standout track in this album because it is meant to be heard as a whole. Today, J.G. Thirlwell is considered to be a well-respected composer and visual artist. He established a very solid identity with the artwork on his album covers. He regularly collaborates on art installations and still puts out a ton of material. Foetus has influenced me both in a philosophical and a musical way. I have formed many of my ideas while listening to his music, and I have also paid attention to how he brands and markets himself. He controls and manipulates his own image, much like Buckethead or Frank Zappa. J.G. Thirlwell is a true Renaissance man and someone to be admired. I'd like for you to give your thoughts on Foetus in the comments below, and I'd love it if you liked, subscribed, and shared. Thanks for watching my VEDA series, 30 Bands in 30 Days. Tomorrow is day 12, and the artist is Gary Numan. I'm Rockula, and this is Rockula Retrospective.